A nation of 500,000 people just pushed the world champion to the edge of elimination. And the song that followed them there was sung in a language most of the world has never heard before. Have you think about what Cape Verde did in their first ever World Cup? They held Spain to a 0-0 draw. They draw 2-2 with Uruguay and qualified for the round of 32 as the only debutant to advance. They met Lionel Messi and the defending champion Argentina in Miami and took them to extra time before losing 3-2 in the most dramatic match of the entire round 32. The squad valued $61 million against Argentina's $920 million, and they nearly pulled off the greatest upset in the World Cup history. And throughout the moment of that journey, one song was playing, Siki Siki, I guess I pronounced it well, Siki. And the history or the story behind it is as remarkable as the team itself. Here is what you need to understand about Cape Verde before we talk about the music. This is an island nation in Atlantic Ocean off the coast of West Africa with a population of roughly 500,000 people. One of the smallest countries to ever qualify for a World Cup. They qualified for the first time in their history for 2026 World Cup and nobody gave them a second look. Though Cape Verde has always punched above its weight. The late Caesarea Evora, if I pronounce it correctly, the barefoot diva, puts Cape Verde on the global music map with Mona, a genre of music so soulful and deeply rooted in pain and longing of the Cape Verdean people that UNESCO declared it an intangible cultural heritage of humanity. Cape Verde does not have the biggest army. Cape Verde does not have the biggest economy, but it has always had the music that carried the soul of its people further than any passport can reach. Now let's talk about Siki Siki, the music that became Cape Verde battle cry at the World Cup. Lisandro Cuxi produced it alongside Loony Johnson. Cuxi is not a new name. He won the French version of The Voice over a decade ago, making him one of the most recognized Cape Verdean artists in Europe. And for this tournament, he went back to his roots. Siki Siki or Siki Siki is sung in entirely Kriolu, the Kriolu language of Cape Verde, language born from centuries of African culture meeting Portuguese colonial history on those Atlantic islands. This song is not loud or aggressive the way other football anthems are. It carries the kizomba rhyme underneath it. Warm, fluid, deeply Cape Verde. It doesn't sound like it was made for football stadium. It sounds like it was made for a people who have always found their strength in music and in each other. And then there is Vozinha, Cape Verde's 40-year-old goalkeeper who became the soul of this entire World Cup campaign. When he was asked what he wants from this tournament, he said he just wants his mother to see him play, and he made 8 saves against Argentina. He kept Cape Verde alive when everything said they should have collapsed. When Siki Siki played and Vozinha stood in between those posts, Cape Verde is not a small island nation anymore. They were the whole of Africa in one squad. Now here is the question I want Billi citizens to sit with. Cape Verde brought a kizomba anthem sung in Kriolu to the biggest football tournament on earth. Not English, not French, not Portuguese. Kriolu, the language of the streets, the market, the fishing villagers in those Atlantic islands. And that song traveled. It reached stadium in Atlanta, Miami, in every corner of the world where Cape Verde diaspora community gathered to watch their nation compete for the first time. Now here is my question. Does national anthem hit harder when it is sung in the language of the people rather than a global language? Because I believe it does, and Cape Verde just proved it on the biggest stage in the world. I am King Henzy aka Billi Boss. I'm a music artist and a digital creator, and I call my lovely fans Billi citizens for a reason, because Cape Verde came to the World Cup and reminded the whole world that the smallest nation carry the biggest souls. So stay with me. Roll on.